Charlotte Flair just made a move that got the entire wrestling world talking. Love her or hate her, it's undeniably brilliant by Charlotte Flair. Find out what she did and why it's so genius in this video. Now look, we got to tell the Charlotte Flair story just a smidge, because Charlotte Flair suffered a significant injury in December 2023 during a match with Asuka on SmackDown. She tore her ACL, MCL, and a meniscus. This injury sidelined her for the majority of 2024. In fact, all of 2024. That includes WrestleMania 40, which was a significant absence for the Queen, who is used to being a regular fixture in WWE and at that event. However, Charlotte Flair, she was very dedicated to her return, her recovery. She was at the training facility known as WWE Performance Center and working hard on her rehab. There was reports that she was ahead of schedule in her recovery and that she was looking to get back into the ring as soon as possible. And you cannot blame her, considering that WWE is on absolute fire. Everywhere they go, they sell out. Their business has never been hotter, or at least it hasn't been since the Attitude Era. From a profit-wise, from a revenue-wise, it's never been hotter. They've never made more money. And while there was speculation that she could return at Saturday night's main event, they saved it for the 2025 Royal Rumble. It was a big, grand returning, and they had hyped it up leading into it. They had aired the video packages saying, hey, Charlotte Flair is going to be returning at the Women's Royal Rumble match. She did so. She won it. And now she has guaranteed herself a championship match at WrestleMania 41, likely Tiffany Stratton. Seems like Charlotte Flair is back and ready to reclaim a spot at the top of the women's division in WWE. Since winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, Charlotte Flair, she made her presence known across all of WWE programming, appearing on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown to build the further anticipation for her WrestleMania 41 title challenge. She teased after going after multiple champions: Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, NXT Champion Julia, and Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Now think about this. Just a few years ago, when Charlotte Flair won her first Royal Rumble, what did she do? She went after the NXT Championship. She went after Rhea Ripley. She ultimately beat Rhea Ripley in a very forgettable WrestleMania match, because it was WrestleMania 36 in 2020, the pandemic era. It was bad. It was horrible. And I felt really, really bad for both women. Here's my point. Here's the focus. This is what you need to know. Charlotte Flair has put a focus on all the top champions for all the top brands, popping interest for not only each show, but also giving a further rub to other stars. So she brought outside interest to Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, considering she's not, part of a brand yet, although it looks like it's going to be SmackDown. She has been gone for months, so fans are eager to see her. And then by especially going to NXT, it raised their ratings. But going to Raw, it gives a further rub to Rhea Ripley, even though she is a big, big star. Anyone and everyone can always use a further rub. Well, she did that for Rhea. She gave a gigantic rub to Julia, someone in which who's going to be a huge, huge star for WWE once she gets to the main roster. And then obviously Tiffany Stratton, who both women have expressed a ton of interest for each other. And someone that Tiffany Stratton has talked about how she wants to wrestle Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair has said that she wants to wrestle Tiffany Stratton. It's a win-win for both women. It's a win-win for the company. It's a win-win for the fans. Company wants to promote, hey, Charlotte Flair's going to be on Monday Night Raw. They're going to be on NXT. She's going to be on SmackDown. Great. You can tune in, because those fans, they've not seen Charlotte Flair in over a year coming out of the Royal Rumble. And I understand there's a lot of controversy with Charlotte Flair winning it. Oh, it's predictable. She's a golden goose. Well, no duh. This is Charlotte Flair we're talking about. What else would you expect? While Flair has portrayed a babyface since her return, it had been reported by Chris Featherstone that the internal feeling in WWE is that she will transition into a heel role leading into WrestleMania. Now, original plans called for her to remain a babyface, but with over 2 months until the event, WWE could obviously adjust her presentation. Now, Flair has hinted at keeping her decision open until the night of WrestleMania, leaving fans speculating about which championship she will ultimately pursue on WWE's biggest stage. Now, do I think that Charlotte Flair is going to wait until the night of WrestleMania to make her big reveal, to say, hey, I'm going to challenge Rhea Ripley, a WrestleMania 39 rematch? Am I going to go after Julia, someone in which she has never wrestled before in her life? Or is she going to go after the dream match, the queen bee, if you will, in Tiffany Stratton, which most people had anticipated? It leaves the room for speculation. It leaves the room for talk and what ifs and how could they or why would they or this is how they could do it. As long as fans are talking, WWE is interested. They are more than willing to let fans talk. I understand that Triple H and most promoters, they always look down upon fans. They just do, right? Because you have those who are in the know, you have those who think they're in the know, and then you have those who are just completely out of whack. I'm sure you've been at school or a sporting event or just with your friends, and some guy is just talking, and it's like none of what he is saying is even accurate, and then therefore you cannot take their opinion credible. Been there, done that. It's almost cringeworthy. As someone who covers this business on a daily basis, who has covered pro wrestling for the last decade of my life, over a decade, it is incredible to see the transition in the wrestling industry. It is very interesting to see how things have changed, how things have progressed. And as long as Charlotte Flair is around, she is going to be a key focal point to WWE. She's going to be a key focal point. She's going to be someone that they use in a prominent way on the top of the card until she hits the world record of 16, which, if you count the Divas Championship, she's one away from. She's going to break that record. Like, she's going to be around for at least another 3 years. John Cena is going to break the record this year. Charlotte Flair, in their eyes, is the women's GOAT. They don't want Ric Flair to hold the world title record, in my opinion, because he wasn't a WWE lifer. That's why John Cena is going to do so. That's why they call him the GOAT. They don't call Hulk Hogan the GOAT, even though he is, from a longevity standpoint and a success standpoint and changing the business standpoint and doing it multiple times over. In their world, John Cena is the GOAT. Is he? No. Can you make an argument? Sure. He's a WWE lifer. Well, why are they doing this with Charlotte Flair? Why are they doing it? I mean, look, Trish Stratus, most people would consider to be the WWE women's GOAT. She was a WWE lifer. Why couldn't she? Because she's not Charlotte Flair. She's not a big enough star. She's not as big as Charlotte Flair. That's why. They've always looked at, and rightfully so, looked at Charlotte Flair as the GOAT in terms of women's pro wrestling. And I cannot say that I disagree. I cannot say that I think that they're wrong. She is very, very good. She has done a lot in this business. She will continue to do a lot in this business as her wrestling career progresses. So we will see in time what they can do with Charlotte Flair.